Hey guys, it's Kevin and Frank from Cruising with Wheels, and this is it. Our final thoughts on our Alaskan cruise aboard the NCL Bliss.
So like Frank said earlier, we will be giving you all of our final thoughts about the NCL Bliss. And we've decided, thanks to all our viewers, that from now on when we vlog a trip, the last episode will be
This one.
like this. Yep, our final thoughts.
So, what can we say about our Alaska cruise aboard the Bliss? Well, the first thing that we always tell everybody when they ask, because everybody's asking, is the ship was gorgeous.
It was beautiful. It was 20 decks high. There are only 2 sets of elevators. So when I say 2 sets of elevators, there's a forward bank of elevators and an aft bank of elevators, which is different from other ships we've sailed. Most of our ships we've sailed have been 3 banks.
Right.
But there were plenty of elevators.
Yeah.
And part of why I think the elevators ran a little bit more smoothly is you will notice if you travel on the Bliss that certain elevators go to certain decks and other elevators go to other decks.
Right.
So in other words, I think one elevator was marked and it's right on the top where it says 4 to 20.
Yeah.
Some said 6 to 17.
Yeah, there was no confusion.
Yeah.
You whatever elevator door opened, you knew exactly where that elevator could go and where it could not. And it was very helpful.
And it was very nice
Yeah.
ship. Upscale, modern, grays, whites, putties.
Right,
Like a very soft, serene color scheme.
Wood grains, lots of texture, leather treatments.
Marble floors.
Yeah, I mean, really kind of very posh, upscale, and super awesome.
I'd love my house to be like that.
I know. So that's about the ship and the decor. What's next?
Well, one of my favorite parts was the observation lounge.
Oh, the observation lounge.
And how they had everything kind of divided. Even though it was a big space, it was divided.
Very different than the other ships.
Very different. We loved the observation lounge. I don't know if you have down in here, we're going to talk about etiquette, but when we get to the observation lounge, I'd like to talk a little bit about proper etiquette for that.
Proper etiquette. Yeah.
Should we talk about embarkation?
Yeah. I mean, for us, it went quite smoothly. It was a Port of Seattle.
Port of Seattle. We were in and on the ship in 20 minutes?
It went fast.
It was really, really, really nice. And I heard that from pretty much everybody.
Yeah, I don't think really. I have to say, I think that the biggest complaint we heard about Alaska through the Port of Seattle was for all of us poor people who actually had to fly into SeaTac, Seattle Tacoma Airport. Everybody
miserable.
Oh my God, miserable getting in and super uber miserable getting out. That seems to be the biggest complaint.
We flew in the day before, and we are from the East Coast, and it took, 14 hours, 10, 12 hours, I don't know. It was a long day, and we spent the day before the cruise, or the evening before the cruise, at the Best Western Seattle Airport.
Right.
I guess I would recommend it.
Yeah,
it's a place to lay your head.
Right. I mean, and for us, that is exactly how we think. It's a place to rest our head. We're not interested in some 5-star posh hotel with all the amenities. We're concerned, is it basic? Is it clean? It has to be a handicap accessible room.
Price.
Price, obviously, is a concern.
Does it have a restaurant?
Which it did.
Did we get a free breakfast?
Yes, and it had a shuttle.
and Wi-Fi.
Yes. So it kind of ticked off a lot of those.
It ticked off all the boxes,
Yeah.
and it was very affordable. It was clean.
Right.
Everything was nice about it.
Right. And the shuttle from the airport to the hotel, and then they had shuttles from the hotel to the port, but we did not avail ourselves of that.
Right.
I said, if you're going to have these big old buses and stuff, it's going to be kind of a no-go for me.
So we did GroundLink again.
Yeah, because, actually we didn't do GroundLink.
Oh, that's right. On the way there, we did the
Yes.
taxi service.
The man at the hotel desk said, "I've got a guy. I can get you a car." And I said, "Oh, well, that's exciting." And we said, "Well, you go get us a car. We want to leave around between 9 and 9:30 in the morning." And before Kevin even came back from dumping our luggage into our room after we had checked in, he said, "He'll be here tomorrow at 9:30. And, we were so excited. You know what? We never asked how much it was going to cost.
And it was about $75.
That was with a cash tip.
And it was okay. I mean, for us, it was more, we didn't want to have to wait around for everybody else to
Right.
get on the shuttle bus and load all the luggage and yada, yada, yada. And it was going to be later on. And
Right.
we like to get there and get
Right.
on the ship and
Right.
start filming.
Right. So it was really great. He showed up by 9:30. Big old car. Got me in, folded up my wheelchair, got the luggage, and for $65, and he was able to take a credit card. We charged it, and I gave him a $10 cash tip. So I was, and you all know how cheap I am, was very pleased. So that was cool.
So we already talked about the check-in
Yeah.
process
Yeah.
and how easy that was.
Right. And once we were on, we went and stuffed our fat faces, which is the first priority when we get on board.
We ate at the local, and we
Yes.
get the big question about the local because it's new to the NCL fleet is, was it good? What was the
Right.
food like?
But what,
Blah, blah,
what
blah.
about Oceans?
It's the same
It's
menu.
the same thing, pretty
so
much.
everything was.
Wouldn't you
was
say
the
like
same.
85, 90%? It's pretty much the same thing as Oceans.
Oh, I'd say like
More?
95 to 99%.
Yeah. If you look at the menus, yeah, pretty much. But the food was good.
The mustard.
Dessert. Wait a minute, we didn't talk about your dessert.
Well, they'll just have to watch our food video.
Oh, it was awesome.
The dessert was really good.
Yeah.
Highly recommend
Yeah.
what did I get? The strawberry cheesecake?
I was going to say, it was cheesecake oriented.
And then we had muster drill.
Yes.
Muster drill was very simple. They swiped our cards.
Yeah, we went to La Cucina. That's where we were assigned to go. Everything was electronic. We got in line. They were quick. They
Check your sail and sign
Yes.
card to find out where you need to go.
Right. They scanned us in. We went in. Boom, boom, boom. They put on the pre-recorded tape message, and while that was playing on all the do's and the don'ts and all the muster information, the lovely crew members were there doing their Vanna White and showing you how to work the life jackets and things like that. So we were over. Boom, boom, boom. What, 15 minutes and out? Yep.
And so the ports of calls that we visited were Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, Victoria, British Columbia, and
Yep.
it was a round trip from Seattle. So
Right.
we started in Seattle, Washington, and we ended.
Ended in beautiful Seattle, Washington.
And there was a sea day in there someplace.
Oh, a couple of
Yeah.
sea days here and there, which are always nice.
What would you say your favorite stop was?
My favorite port was Skagway, Alaska.
Really?
Yes, because for me, out of all again, from my experience, because if you've been watching the vlog series, I didn't get to go into Victoria, British Columbia.
See, that wasn't my favorite.
So maybe had I gone in, I would say, oh, I love British Columbia, I love Victoria, but I got a cold, I was sick, and a little miserable, and it was cold and rainy, and so that combination toward the end of the cruise was not good. So Kevin went in by himself. So if you take Victoria out for me, Skagway was the best because it really looked like and epitomized the old 1800s gold rush Alaska with the old 1800 looking buildings, and I thought that was really cool. And that's where we did the train ride,
So my favorite was Juneau because of the whale watch.
Yeah, well, not Juneau itself,
Right.
because we only saw Juneau by highway, but
We got
were
to meet
actually-
that wonderful woman from
Kathy
Utica.
from Utica, who was our driver. I mean, who would have thought we'd meet somebody from Ithaca, New York, which is like an hour and a half-ish away from where we live. Whew, you never know who you're going to meet, people. So, yeah, I love Skagway.
All right.
Shopping, downtown, trains and all. Now, of course, the next biggest item on the list, which everyone wants to know about, is,
Well, it's got to be the restaurant.
of course, the restaurant, the foods.
So our ultimate favorite restaurant, we would say we had our best meal on this cruise ever, right?
It was.
Pretty much the best meal
Oh,
ever
gosh.
on any cruise we've ever been on, and the worst meal, right?
That
we
is
had
so
both.
true.
It's-
We did have the best and the worst. Well, they do go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah, so let's talk about the worst meal we had first.
Okay. Yeah, the worst meal we had
We'll
was...
end on a high note.
Okay. Was that La Cucina Italian restaurant. We thought it was the absolute worst meal of the cruise. It was a totally different menu that we have had, that we had last fall on the Jade. And then previous to that, it was different from the Gem. And different. It was like menu number 5. And when you think of a brand new ship, you're thinking it's going to get better and better. But
It just got
personally,
worse and worse and worse.
in our opinion, we didn't like it.
The best meal, though, was at the brand new
Yeah.
Q Texas barbecue.
Oh gosh, every day, 24/7.
Yes.
I could eat there.
It was so
Oh,
good. It was
God.
wonderful from beginning to end.
It really was good.
Beginning to end, and that's why we say it was absolutely the best from the signature cocktail they
Yeah, if
had.
you love the drink. I took a sip. It was good.
The desserts, the appetizers,
Yeah,
the main course.
the platter with the
Delicious.
with the brisket and the pulled pork and the
Oh my God, it was awesome.
the cornbread and the beans and the oh my God! Did you see the size of my potato I had?
I know. It was like mutant. I don't know.
I
what.
love a baked what
It was
did I
like
have?
a loaded baked potato.
Well, you had the Lone Star.
You had some sweet potato.
I had a sweet
thing.
potato, which was like was as big as my head.
No, I don't like sweet potatoes.
But he had the regular baked potato, which they call the Lone Star, and it was as big as his head and loaded with stuff.
It was really
It just
good.
was unbelievable how good it was.
But we also availed ourselves of Los Lobos, which was very good.
Right, their Mexican restaurant.
Cagney's, which has always been consistent on every ship.
Cagney's has never disappointed us on any NCL cruise we have been on. For us, they have been consistent. And I've read comments from people that said, "Oh my God, I just got off such and such ship and Cagney's was horrible. This meat was as tough as shoe leather." And I thought, really?
Yeah, we've never experienced them. We've been on
Never.
a lot of NCL cruises.
Yeah, knock on wood.
We also ate at the Haven. It was to die for. So if you're booked in the Haven, avail yourself of the Haven restaurant.
You had the prime rib at the Haven, didn't
Oh
you?
my God, it was butter.
Like butter.
Oh, and Lilibeth.
Yeah,
We love Lilibeth.
The assistant maitre d, and who was the server? Our server there was.
Oh my gosh, I can't
Oh my
remember.
God! You'll have to watch the vlog.
Yeah. But we also availed ourselves of the complimentary venues.
Oh, yeah.
We ate at Savor, Taste, the Manhattan Room, the local, which we've already told you about, and the Garden Cafe, and everything was pretty good.
Now the Manhattan Room is the big, giant dining room, and the food was good. Taste and Savor are the smaller venues, which we kind of like. The small venues, and we ate there for lunch once.
Yep.
And then, of course, we had the dinners. I have to say, though, that we were disappointed in the buffet.
Yeah, the buffet was disappointing.
Yeah.
It seemed like they had very limited selection. It's a gigantic buffet.
Huge.
We never seemed to have a problem
mean,
finding a seat.
I was in a wheelchair rolling, but I can't imagine walking around that buffet. You'd be losing
crazy.
weight before you even got to sit down and eat. But every time we turned a corner, it was the same
Food.
layout of food.
Yeah, it was
the
bizarre.
same. And having been on other NCL cruises, and Carnival Cruises and Royal Caribbean, we're used to having all the different
everybody has different stations.
Different stations, which is like the American station,
The
Asian,
Chinese, the Mexican, pizza, deli, hamburgers, hot dogs. It was just very weird.
They didn't have it. It was like salads, macaroni salad, rice salad, this salad, green salads, hamburgers and hot dogs, hamburgers and hot dogs and fries. It was like, come on, people, and an endless amount of fruits and rolls and whatever. But I'm like, where's all the international kind of? They didn't have that. Mm-hmm. I'm very disappointed.
Speaking of disappointed.
Oh, dear.
I'm disappointed that NCL made the decision to build a theater on a ship with 4,700 passengers max capacity that only seats 800 people.
Yeah, do the math, people.
So some guests did not get to see some of the shows.
Right, because Jersey Boys only performed during the week twice. And in an 800-seat theater, two times.
Right.
Only 1,600 of the 4,700 guests could see the Jersey Boys. Or could see I Havana, which we saw as well.
Now, I Havana for us was very much not what we're used to on cruise ships, the type of entertainment. It was a Broadway-style show, but it was very long.
It was so long.
It was so long, and I felt the seats were very uncomfortable.
Right, we were right up in the front row, looking up. The stage was like a couple of feet away from us. The scenery on the stage kept moving every 2 minutes. You could feel as the actors and actresses were running across the stage, doing their thing and dancing and twirling, the sweat flying off of them onto us, and looking up because, even in a regular...
So dramatic.
I have to be. Even in a theater, we do not sit in the front row.
But it doesn't
be like this.
It doesn't matter whether we were in the front row or not.
I think it might have been just a tad better of an experience if we weren't like this, looking up
it was
at all this commotion.
It was 2 hours plus.
It really was.
It was long.
We're used to 45, 50-minute shows.
They could have cut an hour out of that show and it would have been fine.
You mean
I was a theater major, trust me.
you mean not move those moving stairs another 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, they could have gotten to the point
right.
a lot quicker.
What is
Sometimes like you could get to the point a lot quicker. I was a little disappointed with Jersey Boys. I know that you didn't go.
I didn't go. It was way too late.
It was a 10:30 showing, and
they were a half hour late, you said.
They were a half an hour late because they were having problems, which isn't why I was disappointed. Why I was disappointed was apparently at 11:15, they have a Texas hoedown in the adjoining Texas Q barbecue, drowning out the 60s music.
So can you imagine everyone geared up to see the Jersey Boys and the music starting and the singing starting, and all of a sudden you hear, swing your partner, do-si-do, and you're like, what the heck is that? And it's so loud you cannot hear what's going on in Jersey Boys.
Now, I know some of you have seen the clips from our vlog, and the music didn't come through on there because I only got the clips when that cue wasn't playing because I wanted you guys to enjoy the vlog. And I also inserted some clips from a press-only event that we attended so that you could see a little bit more of it. Because I was way back in the back at the Jersey Boys when we were on the Bliss.
For many people, it was very disappointing. And how many people walked out of the theater?
There was probably 100-something people that walked out because it was so distracting.
Yeah, it was like, come on.
Now, I do understand it depended on where you were sitting as to whether you could hear Q's music.
The hoedown.
But, like I said, I was a music major. I was a theater major. And I could tell on the looks of the performers that they were distracted and irritated.
It's got to be awful.
So I hope that they've made that correction. we haven't seen anybody else complaining about it.
Right, so hopefully that's done. Can you imagine all the complaints down at the customer guest services?
And we also did indulge in Prohibition Happy Hour, the musical, which is held at the Social Club.
Right, Social Club.
I wasn't really impressed with it. The performers were great.
Oh, the singing was great.
The singing was great,
singing.
but the lyrics were kind of,
well, the whole storyline was very
it was very vulgar.
It was a lot of tit and ass comments playing to the male.
Don't bring your children
to the male audience.
Yeah,
and it's an interactive performance because everyone that's sitting down front and center, that you as a guest are part of the show.
Right, and Happy Hour, the Prohibition Happy Hour, the musical, is not a free event.
Right,
you have to pay for it. Do you remember what it was? Like $25.99, $29.95, something like that, and per person, and you get 5 drinks each with that, because as part of the show goes, they're like,
happy hour,
and now we're going to talk about the Moscow Mule, and da-da-da-da-da, and then they pass around Moscow Mules or whatever,
which was like, as Kevin would say, every drink was like 90% watered down.
I drank all 10 of them.
All 10 drinks, because when they went like this to me, I took it and said, here you go, because I'm not drinking, I can't drink any of that, but he was like, it's like 90% watered down. It's absolutely horrible. And because if you're not part of the center area in front, and we were over to the side, my entire view of the stage had a giant pillar in front of me. So I had this giant wide pillar, so I only saw what was happening on this side of the pillar and on this side of the pillar.
Well, that's because we could only get in so far because of your wheelchair.
Right,
too.
so that was kind of a little disappointing. So I relied on my ears.
So let's talk about the excursions.
But what's the other one that we missed? Because we did miss another performance of that.
The Beatles cover band. I can't remember what it was, but
we didn't get to
see it because
it was a little screw up.
It was all screwy on how it was put in the Freestyle Daily.
Right.
And it was included with the last show, the final show, which we usually go to. And we didn't go to that because
you see one final,
and it was during the day.
Right. It was very weird.
It was bizarre.
So we missed that. We missed that whole Beatles thing.
So let's talk about the excursions.
Yes. What excursions did we do? Well, we did 2 of them. And I wish that we would have done a third one, having now heard reviews of people who had done it after we got home. But let's talk about...
What do you wish?
I will discuss it when we're done.
All right. Well, my favorite was in Juneau, and it was a whale watch.
Yep.
It was 2.5 hours long. It's $174 per person. We booked it directly through NCL. We really enjoyed it.
Oh gosh, the whales, the sea lions, the eagles. What else did we see?
There's just one thing that you all need to know about any excursion that you take with NCL or any cruise line, in my opinion at this point, that we will be doing if you are in a wheelchair. And that is, when you book that excursion, this was handicap accessible.
Right, the wheelchair symbol was actually on the site.
Which means it's handicap accessible.
It's handicap accessible. Hello.
Hello. And so we booked it for that reason. And then we're told when we were waiting for it to get on the bus that, you should have made sure that you booked a bus.
Those of you who saw the vlog that day, every one of the buses that showed up to do the excursions, not one of them had a wheelchair lift on it. So there was a little snafu.
So just make sure that you get with Shore Excursions when you get on the ship.
Right.
And make sure you tell them that you need a bus with a handicap lift, and they'll arrange that for you.
Right. And the tour company that was running it, the person who we dealt with said, we don't have those kinds of buses here in Alaska. We don't do that, which is kind of the weirdest, most bizarre comment I've ever heard.
But they did, and they do.
They did because they called a special little
Just
van.
didn't know.
Yeah, special little van, which is where we met Kathy from Ithaca, and we got a private ride to the boat, and it was awesome. In fact, the tour guide on the boat said that our whale watch was like one of the best for seeing the most whales and sea lions and all the rest of wildlife.
Check out the vlogs.
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful. And then when we got off the boat and onto the dock, 6 to 8 buses were there to pick up everyone. And guess what? Every bus had a wheelchair lift on it. So there you go. So yeah, then we go to Skagway, where we had my favorite, the White Pass Rail train ride, which is riding that 1800s train up the mountain.
4 hours.
Oh gosh.
It's 4 hours. It's a round trip experience.
And coming down.
It's $149 per person. They said that snacks were included, but they really weren't. So be prepared.
They were selling snacks.
Right.
Thankfully.
They say refreshments.
Yeah.
So your refreshment is a bottle of water.
Yeah.
For 4 hours.
Yeah.
So either pack something.
Yes.
Which we would do.
Right.
Or be prepared to spend $15 a person for a snack bag.
Each box. So there was people that we met, a brother, a sister, and the brother had 2 girls with him, so 4. And they spent $15 for each of us. $60.
That's a lot of money.
A white box that had a little bag.
That's a week's of groceries for us.
Oh my God, it is. It's more than a week's groceries for us. So thankfully I had a little bit of this and a little bit of that in my little carry-on bag, and that got us through. There was a bathroom in the car we were in.
It was handicap accessible.
Yes, yep.
Frank availed himself of it.
I certainly did. Had to after 4 hours. And explain how after we went up the mountain, when the train turned around, it went down. What everybody had to do.
We all had to flip our seats.
Yeah, the bench seats flip over so that you're now facing the correct way as the train is coming down.
They do that so everybody gets an opposite view.
And then they have you switch sides. Yeah. So
it was neat.
I didn't expect that. It really was kind of cool. And I love trains.
The thing I didn't like about the train, which is kind of a put off to me, is every 15, 20 minutes they were coming in trying to sell things.
Oh, yeah.
They had a book to sell.
A DVD.
They had a hat to sell, the DVD. And then at the end, and the snacks. And we sell those. And if you buy everything, we'll give you a price.
It's like you're listening to the narration going on, and if you look to your right and if you look to your left, but then you're watching the guy and he's opening up the chest and he's loading his little giant bag of all the stuff he wants to sell you, and you're thinking, here we go, he's now going to start making his way up and down, trying to hawk their wares, and it's like, I want to be like, dude, get out of my way, I'm here to enjoy a train ride.
Well, when we were on the cruise, we did some interviews too. We spoke with Hovo Sekulovic.
Very good. Hovo Sekulovic, he's the hotel director.
And we also spoke with the access manager, Jen-Mark
Opan. Yep. Wealth of information.
Oh, and we spoke with Wyland, was on our cruise. He's the artist who did the hull work, and we had a lovely afternoon with Wyland's mother and
her friend Deanna. And that was kind of just happenstance that we had gone down to the atrium.
She didn't even know who we were.
Right, popped into Starbucks to grab something and thought, well, let's just kind of sit here and just be with people. And then all of a sudden, Kevin was sitting in his chair and I'm in my wheelchair, and there's always, in the atrium, usually like a cluster of 4 chairs. Well, he had one, and I had pushed what would have been my chair out of the way and sat there. And then they walked up and they sat in the other 2 chairs. And when you're around people, you kind of you nod, hi, how you doing? The old enjoying the cruise. And then we got to talking. And as we got to talking, we were scooching and inching, toward them, and really got into a nice hour-plus conversation. Of course, we learned it was Wyland's mom, and her friend.
Well, I knew it was
and
Wyland's
we got
mom.
to well, they actually because we were having.
Because of the dinner.
We were in the Haven restaurant
having dinner with them.
Wyland and his girlfriend Sheila and his mom Darlene and her friend Deanna were kind of kitty cornered to us having their dinner. So we got a nice conversation. She gave us the lowdown skinny on Wyland. And anyways, but it was a really great time. She
Loose lips,
was a lovely lady, and so was Deanna. So that was a bonus.
That was a bonus.
It was.
Speaking of bonuses, the observation lounge
Yes.
is the biggest bonus
Yeah.
of the NCL Bliss. It is gorgeous. It's the first third of the ship on encompassing 2 or 3 decks. I think it's 2 decks.
I think
Maybe
2.
3.
Really?
Well, because there's you can see, so deck 15 is the observation lounge, and then on deck 16 is the garden buffet.
Right. Oh, that's right.
And you can see
Right.
and
Forgot
within
about
the
that.
observation lounge, and then deck 17 there's a private haven observation lounge.
Okay.
It's a beautiful area. It's poshly decorated again. I just can't say enough about how they decorated the ship.
Sectioned off. Normally, you go into the observation lounge, and it's one kind of giant room with lots of seats.
Well, it would be called. It's not called the observation lounge on the other ships. It's Spinnaker's lounge.
Oh, okay.
On the smaller ships. So I don't know what it is on the larger ships. We'll find out when we go on the getaway in November.
Right.
But
we liked the way it was set up.
We really liked the way it was set up because you could have sections where you could sit and have an intimate conversation.
They had all these beautiful see-through dividing shelf walls, and on the shelves were these beautiful urns, decorative glass, lots of gold, silver. It's kind of like if you were in your living room, and within these little, what we call in the business,
like
vignettes were couches and chairs, all these
and
different
little tables.
Yes.
And they have a buffet.
Yes, and they had food and drink, a mini buffet in there.
And a bar.
Yes.
They have a bar.
So, I mean, you don't have to leave to go out and get anything. But what I liked especially about it was that in the other ships, which again, as you said, they called Spinnaker's Lounge, they're usually 100% carpeted. And this was not. It actually had
like wood floors,
a wood tile flooring, kind of like Wizard of Oz Yellow Brick Road, which took you through the entire observation
really
lounge,
nice.
which was really easy for me.
It was nice for me
to roll on myself. And then as you're going down the pathway, I think we'll stop over here. Let's get to the window, and that's where we sat, and we could see the.
And that's going to bring us to etiquette while you're in the observation lounge. So if you're going to be traveling on the NCL Bliss, we just want to ask for your fellow cruisers just to follow a few pieces of etiquette.
Right.
Leave your shoes on. Don't move the furniture. There were on our sailing quite a few people that pulled the couch up, took their shoes off. There was one guy who even took his shirt off.
Yeah, and they were like,
and just laid down and took a nap.
You're not at home. I mean, you're out really in public with thousands of other people. This is not your house.
I had one guy tell me to keep it down.
This was not your. this stuff is not your furniture. When you leave that room and you leave that cruise,
don't bang the table.
Oh, sorry. Other people are coming on for the next cruise. So,
yes.
I mean,
plus you also want to make the experience nice for everyone involved.
Do you want to sit there while people are lounging with their dirty feet all over their...
It was gross.
The sofas and the chairs. And
the sofas and chairs and everything is like creams and grays. And I'm just thinking, oh my God.
The decor.
It's going to be a cleaning nightmare.
And then there were people that took these giant lounging chairs and shoved them up to the glass window and then went and took a nap for a couple of hours. Well, everyone is there to actually stay awake and look out of the windows to the whales, right?
The beauty.
The beauty and the sea lions or whatever.
And the water and the waterfalls.
We went to the Sawyer Glacier. And what, you can't even get to the windows because they want to sleep? That's kind of wacky. Like, if you want to sleep, either move to the side or go back to your cabin. I mean, that was my attitude. Don't take up space for those of us who want to stay awake and avail ourselves of the beauty that is Alaska.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Some miscellaneous things that we were involved in. We did go to the, on the first sea day, the big cruise critic meet and greet.
It was nice.
Yeah, a lot of people. How many were there? 300?
I think it was 300 plus.
Yeah, a lot of people.
A lot of people. It was nice. They did a nice job.
Big old cake.
But I don't necessarily know if that's the ship that did a really nice job. I think it's the person who planned it.
Of course.
And I also think it's the behind the scenes staff at corporate and the behind the scenes staff on the ship, the crew, that make it all special. So kudos for that. The internet was absolutely awesome. It was the best internet we've ever had while we're cruising. I got a signal everywhere. I was in the middle of Juneau and almost getting a signal. Not really in the middle.
He
but
was practically out in the water riding whales and he got a signal.
It was awesome. And it was fast. It was lightning
Right.
fast. We even live streamed.
Yes,
It was amazing.
observational. Even that eagle that swooped down and grabbed your cell phone and went up to make a call to China got a signal. It really was good.
We did karaoke.
Well,
we tried to.
Yeah, we tried to do karaoke. The venue, which was in the social club,
It was in the social
was
club.
very small.
They have to rethink that.
Yeah, standing room only, massively crowded, and the equipment did not work properly.
The song selection was horrible.
It
It was
was-
atrocious.
It was like no one even knew what these songs were. Never heard of them.
And when someone wanted to sing or try to sing whatever song that they had selected from the atrocious selection, like you said, the equipment didn't
Yeah.
work. So
The words were not coming up on their screens. It wasn't in sync with the music, and people eventually said, "Well, I'm done," and put the mic down and walked off the stage. And it was like, this is kind of crazy. So we left.
our cabin steward was awesome.
Max was
Max.
absolutely awesome.
It was a dream.
Whatever additional things that we might have needed, we left him. We either told him or we left him little post-it notes. He never forgot. He always remembered. And when those items were used up, he made sure we got a replenishment of them. So he earned. We gave him a $25 cash gift at the beginning of the cruise. Said thank you because we know you're gonna work hard for us and you're gonna take care of us, and he did. And on the last day, we gave him another $25 cash gift.
Well, we also gave him
Yeah.
a bottle of wine, a bottle of champagne,
and the last
chocolates,
giant,
I think.
we left him a lot of stuff.
We left him a lot of stuff.
and wrote a note saying that we left it for him specifically.
So if you're going to leave your cabin steward with some of your things, like your water, your liquor, your
Whatever.
say you had chocolates
Yeah.
or something, you need to leave a note
Yeah.
so that it covers their butt, because
It
you don't
does-
want to think that they stole it.
yeah, or that for some reason he snatched it and you left without it because we didn't want that to happen. 'Cause
No.
we love that.
We got room service, and
Yeah, we did.
and it was good. We didn't get room service per se where we paid for it. We
Well,
got the complimentary
Breakfast.
continental
Yeah.
continental breakfast.
We filled out the little card. The earliest we could get it was what, 6:30.
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
I think it was 6. But we planned on 6:30, and we put the card on the cabin doorknob outside. And sure
The
enough,
night before.
yeah, the night before, and sure enough, at 6:30 ish, that doorbell rang, and we were most of the time we were ready. Lights were on. He was already sitting at the laptop doing stuff on the computer, and I had already pulled a couple of singles out. So when he walked in and set the tray down, my money was ready for him to say thank you for bringing this down. And we had coffee and some Danish or whatever. Got to have something before we shave, shower, dress, and have a real breakfast. So that was good.
We want to thank everybody that sent us gifts. That would be some of our subscribers sent us gifts. Andrea
From Public Relations.
The Public Relations team.
Cruises.com.
Cruises.com.
Who's our travel agent.
Hovo Sekulovic.
Right, the hotel director. Captain.
The captain sent us. What did he send us?
I don't know, but those.
I don't remember.
Those
They weren't
gift
stop.
trays.
They didn't stop.
The gift trays were piled like 4 or 5 high of chocolate, strawberries, canapes, hors d'oeuvres, all this stuff. And there was a certain point where we were like, we're not going to eat this. Max, you need to take this away. This is where we were like, oh, we wish Dave and Darlene were with us because we would be funneling all these gift platters to them.
So, like we said, we had a wonderful time.
Yes, it was a wonderful time.
And we disembarked. We had a nice disembarkation as far as speed-wise.
Yes.
7:45 we were out of the cabin.
Right.
We had prearranged.
We had our luggage went out the night before. We had the gold tags, which was priority disembarkation. Jen Mark, the access manager, met us on deck 8 outside La Cucina, and we had, again, he assigned us Ferdinand to wheel me off the ship and get us down, and they had a special area for gold tag luggage, so we found our luggage pretty easily.
Yeah, it was really easy.
Yeah, and then we were outside. And the thing is, at the Port of Seattle, you can't stay in the port. I mean,
get out of there.
Once you're out, he was just trying to put his phone back, clip it back on his belt, and the guy was like, you need to keep moving. You need outside. He goes, dude, give me a break. I got a guy in a wheelchair. My husband's in a wheelchair. I'm trying to rehook my phone, and they're like, they don't want to hear it. It's like, no, out of the terminal. So you've got to go right out, and we were out on the street thinking, oh boy, we hope Groundling comes.
Mm-hmm. By 9 o'clock, Groundling picked us up. By 9:30, we were at the airport. And we were on the plane by 11 a.m.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
And off we went. Thank
way.
God we had. Thank God we had first class tickets on the way home.
Yes.
Thank you, Kevin. Right?
Yes.
Because
it was,
it was amazing.
Yeah.
And we wanted to address one other thing.
Yeah, we want to end with one last thing we kind of want to talk about.
We want to talk about it, but we don't want to bring it up anymore.
I know, but
we're kind of sick of it. But we have to address
it's something we have to address, and everyone knows that when we got off the ship at the end of the cruise, we had the whole Adrian screaming match disaster as we were getting off, and those of you who have been following us know that this started on the first day of our cruise with him and kind of went through the whole cruise with him and so many of the people we met that he was just not nice. But that being said, a lot of subscribers and even non-subscribers to our channel have sailed on the Bliss since we were on it on the inaugural at the beginning of June, and have been commenting on the cruise and on Adrian, and we're over it. Okay, we're done.
We're done. We forgive Adrian for doing what he does not know.
But
it is what it is.
With the videos got out there, the Haven Hitman, and then of course the follow-up, which was the NCL corporate response, and the video done on that.
And we forgive NCL for being stupid and not addressing it.
We got all the hate mail from all the Adrian supporters attacking us on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and the onslaught. But the reason why we're bringing this up now is because just recently some cruisers just got off the Bliss, and they sent us pictures of what they had done. It was kind of funny, but
we got a chuckle.
We got a chuckle out of it. So Jeremy Finnerty and his daughter Caitlin had just got off the Bliss, and what they did was they made a little 8x10 wanted poster, and we'll show it to you here. And we got a chuckle out of it. So we posted the picture on our Cruising with Wheels Facebook page. We thought, oh wow, this is funny.
And guess what happened?
And
now we're getting the hate mail again.
And so because that was posted,
we don't blame you, Jeremy.
we don't blame you. It was funny.
It was funny.
Or we wouldn't have shared it. It was kind of cute. So they had this one wanted poster of Adrian, and they just kind of walked around the ship, put it up, and took a selfie with it. You know, so it was kind of, and then took it down. This was not, they did not have hundreds of posters. They were not pasting them all over the cruise ship. It was one sheet of paper, so it's kind of funny. So since then, people are like, oh my God, I want hundreds of those, or I'm going to have T-shirts made, and we should wear T-shirts. And what we want to say is, we're done, because of that, the hate mail has started again.
And we just want to drop it. And furthermore, we're asking that
please do not use our Cruising with Wheels logo.
We don't want to get in trouble.
Okay? If you want to make a T-shirt that says Adrian Bika is a poo-poo head, or, you know, Adrian Bika with a big red circle, whatever, you want to wear that, that's on you. You know, if you want to have a poster or whatever, that's okay. This is America. First Amendment right to free speech. We have no problem with that.
But our logo is copyrighted, and we would appreciate if you don't use the Cruising with Wheels logo.
We are here right now to say we do not sanction anyone using our Cruising with Wheels logo on any T-shirts or posters or anything to do with this particular issue. Anything that you might want to use, you have to get our approval for it.
We forgive you, Jeremy and Caitlin. It was hysterical.
It was funny.
But in the future, you can't use our logo.
So when
it's a big no-no.
People actually ask us, or James Ellis from Ellis Customs Creations, who does all our T-shirts, he contacts us and he says, listen, Kevin, Frank, I was contacted by a cruiser and they want to do a T-shirt that says this, this, and this, but they also want your logo on it. Is it okay? And he has to get our approval for it because it's our logo. So again, Jeremy, it kind of was a good thing because it did prompt us to put this message out to everybody. Whatever you want to do, you do it on your own. Please don't involve Cruising with Wheels. And then, of course, we had another cruiser who shared the saga on one of the NCL Latitude Facebook sites, and that started a whole brouhaha on that Facebook site, and again, which prompted more of the hate mail towards us. When it was like, oh, you should go to Cruising with Wheels, and you should look at the videos, and that just started it all over again. And Kevin and I are done with it.
It gets very tiring.
Yeah, we wish Adrian well, and those of you who have great experiences with Adrian, we are thankful because that's the way it should be. And for those of you who, along with us, had an absolutely horrible, horrendous, egregious experience, we're in our own private club.
And I'm sorry, we've probably had double the people reach out to us that have had bad experiences to the people that have had good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's funny.
I'm just saying because it's
funny because last night on Facebook we read a cruiser who just got off the Bliss, and the officers on the Bliss arranged for her to take a tour of the Haven and the Haven restaurant.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yes, doesn't it? And when she got on, she said they were walking through, and all of the Haven personnel were looking at her horrified that, oh my God, what are you doing here? And promptly grabbed her and threw her out. And again,
it's happening.
This was arranged by the officers on the ship for her to have a tour. And when she went to do the tour, the Haven people threw her out. And her last comment on what she was telling the story was, quote, and everything that Cruising with Wheels said is absolutely 100% accurate. So thank you for validating that we didn't make this up.
It doesn't matter. We know
what is
we know
true.
what the truth is.
Right.
We know what our truth is. Their truth might be different.
Right. So anyways, but gosh, it's like, and she said, here we go, miscommunication again. And she promptly got booted out. And just, good Lord, what the heck. So anyways, we wanted to end it with that and say, please let it go. We have let it go, and we have moved on.
Let it go. Let it go.
So that's all we have to say. So on behalf of my beautiful Kevin and myself from Cruising with Wheels, we want to say what?
Travel safe.
And cruise often.